In the midst of World War II, Desmond Doss stood out as a soldier with a unique perspective. Unlike many of his peers, Desmond was a conscientious objector. His deep religious beliefs, rooted in his Seventh-day Adventist faith, led him to make a profound decision. He would not carry a weapon or take a life. Instead, he was determined to serve his country as a medic, helping wounded soldiers on the battlefield. When Desmond joined the U.S. Army in 1942, he was filled with a sense of duty and purpose. He believed that serving others was the highest form of patriotism. However, his refusal to wield a gun came with significant challenges. Many of his fellow soldiers didn't understand his stance, creating a climate of tension. Some mocked him for his beliefs, while others were openly hostile. They couldn't fathom how someone could join the military, yet refuse to fight. Desmond's superiors were also skeptical. Some officers questioned his bravery and commitment to the army. They believed that every soldier should be armed to protect themselves and their comrades. Despite this opposition, Desmond remained resolute. He did not waver in his faith or his decision. For him, saving lives was more important than taking lives. As he trained, Desmond's fellow recruits often separated themselves from him. They teased him and sometimes tried to intimidate him over his convictions. Yet, he handled it all with patience and determination. He knew the importance of his role, and that kept him focused. He committed himself to mastering the medical skills necessary to help injured soldiers. As Desmond's unit prepared for deployment, he continued to face criticism. On numerous occasions, he was called a coward or told he would never truly be a soldier. But Desmond held on to his principles, often reiterating that helping others was his greatest calling. His conviction led him to a place of inner strength, one that many of his critics would later come to admire. When his unit was sent to Okinawa, Desmond would find himself in the heart of one of the fiercest battles of the war. There, amid the sound of gunfire and chaos, he would demonstrate the true meaning of courage. His ability to navigate the battlefield without a weapon, tending to the wounded, would leave a lasting impact on those around him. Through all the struggle, Desmond Doss remained a figure not defined by his refusal to fight, but by his unyielding commitment to save lives, embodying the belief that one could be brave without a weapon. Desmond Doss volunteered to serve as a medic, driven by a strong desire to save lives instead of taking them. For him, being a medic was not just a job. It was a way to help others during one of the darkest times in history. He wanted to do his part for his country, but on his terms. When Desmond arrived for training at Fort Jackson in South Carolina, he quickly realized that the road ahead would be tough. The rigorous training was designed to prepare soldiers for the harsh realities of war, but it also brought its own challenges. Many of his fellow recruits viewed him with skepticism and hostility. To them, not carrying a weapon made him seem like a coward. They struggled to understand how someone could be part of the military, yet refuse to fight. Desmond faced constant mockery. Some of his peers called him names, while others tried to intimidate him. It hurt, but he refused to let their words shake his beliefs. In his heart, he knew he was doing what felt right. Every day, he trained hard, mastering medical skills that would be crucial on the battlefield. While others focused on their weapons, Desmond focused on bandages, first aid, and life-saving techniques. Despite the hostility around him, Desmond remained steadfast. He often reminded himself that he was there to help people, not to harm them. When the training drills became particularly tough, he held on to his convictions as motivation. The more they belittled him, the stronger his resolve became. As the weeks went by, some of his fellow soldiers began to see a different side of Desmond. They noticed how dedicated he was, always ready to lend a helping hand, even when it was met with resistance. Slowly, a few started to respect his commitment, even if they didn't fully understand it. Through it all, Desmond's faith was a guiding force. He would often reflect on his beliefs and how they shaped his choices. He found hope in the possibility that, one day, his service would show others the power of compassion over conflict. In the face of adversity, Desmond Doss stood firm. His training at Fort Jackson transformed him not just into a soldier, but into a symbol of courage, one that would soon be tested on the front lines. Despite facing numerous challenges during his training, Desmond Doss was eventually deployed to the Pacific Theater. specifically to the brutal Battle of Okinawa in 1945. This battle would become one of the fiercest encounters of World War II, with intense fighting and heavy casualties on both sides. As U.S. forces advanced, they met fierce resistance from the Japanese, leading to relentless combat that took a heavy toll. When Desmond arrived at Okinawa, he quickly sensed the chaos around him. The air was filled with the sounds of artillery, gunfire, and the cries of wounded soldiers. Yet, amidst the fear and destruction, Desmond's determination to save lives never wavered. He put on his medic's uniform, feeling a deep sense of purpose in the midst of the turmoil. As the battle raged on, Desmond worked tirelessly on the front lines. While many soldiers ducked for cover, he fearlessly moved through dangerous areas to reach the injured. His focus was not on the enemy, but on those in need of help. Armed only with his medical kit and unwavering faith, he became a beacon of hope for many. Despite the surrounding chaos, Desmond's dedication stood out. He treated wounds, helped transport injured soldiers, and provided comfort to those who were scared. Time and again, he risked his own life to save others. While bullets flew and explosions shook the ground, he crawled into open fields to drag men to safety, refusing to leave anyone behind. The conditions were harrowing. Many soldiers around him were overwhelmed and casualties were mounting. But Desmond's spirit was unbreakable. He felt that there was no greater duty than to serve and protect the lives of his fellow soldiers, no matter the personal cost. His bravery, fueled by his strong beliefs, began to earn him the respect of others on the battlefield. Once skeptics now admired his courage. Throughout the Battle of Okinawa, Desmond Doss illustrated what true heroism looked like. While others might gauge bravery by how many enemies were defeated, he defined it by how many lives he could save. In the heart of battle, he remained committed to his calling, proving that compassion could shine even in the darkest moments. During one of the bloodiest assaults on the WWII escarpment, Desmond Doss displayed extraordinary bravery that would become legendary. The battle was fierce, with heavy casualties and relentless fighting. As bullets flew and explosions shook the ground, Desmond's resolve only grew stronger. On that harrowing day, Doss found himself in the midst of chaos. Soldiers were pinned down under enemy fire, and many lay injured, unable to move. While others sought cover, Desmond stepped onto the battlefield with his medic's kit in hand. His heart raced, but he was determined to save as many lives as he could. With incredible courage, Desmond crawled through the dangerous terrain, fully aware of the risks. He knew that each moment spent in the open could be his last, but he pushed those fears aside, focusing on the wounded soldiers around him. One by one, he reached them, offering first aid and words of encouragement, urging them to hold on. In the midst of enemy fire, Desmond lifted a soldier, carefully dragging him to safety. He then rushed back to rescue another, all while remaining unarmed and steadfast in his convictions. His fellow soldiers watched in awe as he repeatedly put himself in harm's way, this time not just for any soldier, but for their brothers in arms. His actions were nothing short of heroic. As the battle raged on, Doss's efforts began to stand out. He was treating and saving one soldier after another, working tirelessly to bring them to safety. His arms ached, and the heat was unbearable, but he never once faltered. Each life he saved added fuel to his mission. Word spread among the troops about the medic who refused to carry a weapon but risked his life repeatedly to save others. For many, he became a symbol of hope and courage. Desmond Doss faced overwhelming odds but remained committed to his principles, proving that true valor lies not just in the act of fighting, but in the willingness to care for those in need. As the day wore on, he managed to rescue numerous wounded soldiers, bringing them back from the brink. His efforts would ultimately save many lives, showing that even in the darkest hours of battle, there is light in selfless compassion. Desmond's bravery did not go unnoticed, and it would be a moment in history that many would remember and honor for years to come. Desmond Doss's courage on the battlefield did not go unnoticed. As he tirelessly rescued wounded soldiers during the brutal fighting at the WWII escarpment, many of his fellow troops began to understand the depth of his bravery. Soldiers who once doubted him now recognized the extraordinary feats he performed under fire. His determination to save lives, despite not carrying a weapon, inspired respect and admiration among those around him. After the battle, word of Desmond's selfless actions spread quickly through the ranks. Stories of how he risked his life to drag injured men to safety echoed among the soldiers. Instead of looking at him as a coward, they saw him as a hero. Many began to approach him with gratitude, thanking him for his bravery and for being a shield of hope in such a dark time. Desmond's incredible bravery did not stop at the battlefield. He continued to serve as a medic, helping wherever he could, further solidifying his position as an integral member of his unit. His commitment and determination showed that heroism could come in many forms, and he had proven that one could uphold their values in the direst of circumstances. His outstanding service eventually caught the attention of higher-ups in the military. Desmond Doss was later recognized for his valor in saving lives during combat. In a historic moment, he was awarded the Medal of Honor, making him the first conscientious objector to receive this prestigious accolade. Receiving the Medal of Honor was a significant achievement, not just for Desmond, but for many who believed in serving humanity through compassion. It emphasized that bravery isn't solely about bearing arms, it's also about saving lives and standing firm in one's beliefs. Desmond's story became one of inspiration, showing that true courage can shine even in the darkest moments of war. Desmond Doss's story didn't end with the war. After returning home, he became a powerful symbol of faith and determination. The bravery he displayed on the battlefield resonated far beyond Okinawa. People were drawn to his story because it highlighted the strength of one man's convictions amidst the chaos of war. As he settled back into civilian life, Desmond shared his experiences and spoke openly about his journey. He visited schools, churches, and community events, encouraging others to embrace their beliefs and stand firm in their values. His message was simple but profound. Compassion and courage could triumph over adversity. Many found hope in his words, feeling inspired to face their own challenges with similar tenacity. Desmond's life served as a reminder that a soldier's greatest weapon could be something as powerful as kindness. He showed that even in the harshest conditions, it's possible to act with integrity and love. He believed deeply that hatred didn't win battles. Rather, it's the willingness to help others that changes lives. His story also became a source of motivation for many who faced their own struggles. People saw in Desmond a role model who upheld his principles, standing against the tide of violence. Even those who had once doubted him found themselves inspired by his strength of character. He represented the idea that bravery comes in many forms, and it can be just as impactful to save a life as it is to fight in battle. Desmond Doss became a beloved figure in his community, respected not just for his military service, but for the values he embodied. He stood as a testament to the belief that peace and compassion could prevail, even in the face of great evil. His legacy continued to inspire new generations, reinforcing the message that everyone has the power to make a difference, no matter how small.